Pull up in motorcades. I got a show today.
What's up, guys? This is Brian. This is the Til You Collapse podcast, and it's been a damn while. 3 months to be exact. Whew, lots happened in 3 months. I'm coming to you guys, though, every single Monday. Monday. Sorry, I had to do it, Donnie. Every single Monday, we're going to come at you with a podcast, bringing that value back, bringing that heat back. I miss it, but we've been really busy. We got so much shit going on. But it's good to be back. I miss adding value and recording shit for you guys. Donnie is here. Donnie, if you guys follow me on IG, you know Donnie. Donnie is my new videographer, photographer, jack of all trades, and this kid is fucking talented. Donnie, I'm so grateful to have you on the team, man. You're killing it. And everybody notices the content. They say that shit. But hey, this is the first time you ever been on a podcast?
First time ever.
Yeah, I've done a lot of firsts with you, baby. You know what I'm saying? So, Donnie, just give a quick little background on you. You don't gotta go on your whole story, but tell them who you are, what you're about.
Okay, man. A little nervous, man.
It's okay.
Okay, what's up, guys? My name is Donnie. I'm a videographer from San Luis Obispo, California. Came up here to pursue a golf scholarship and then ended up getting snagged by a church. Worked at a church for about a year and then had the privilege of working for Til You Collapse. Brian hit me up, a friend of a friend, and ended up getting this amazing opportunity to help be a big part of something that's really important. And I'm really stoked to be here, helping elevate my man Brian's brand, his name, man, getting it out there, being goofy, making bloopers and all sorts of fun stuff.
You're doing good, man. You're killing it. So so you were at a church for a year. That's probably interesting, huh?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And then as far as you came here, and just, be real and raw and candid. Like, how's your experience been here? As far as you've been 2 months now, right?
Almost three, actually.
Almost three. Shit. So how's it been?
It's been amazing. The vibe here is like nowhere else I've ever worked. Just the feeling of culture and family. Everyone here is just so cool with each other. We're all just, we just love each other, and the vibe is just amazing. The way you lead too. I'm not trying to be too much of a brown noser on this podcast, but it's pretty inspiring, and we all just really love it here. And I love being a part of something, like I said, that's so important, really elevating a brand that gets out there in front of thousands and thousands of people. It's pretty amazing. So
yeah, and like I said, man, I love working with you, and just the amount you've grown in the last 3 months, because you literally went from shooting churches to shooting athletic apparel and stuff like that. And it's something you've never really shot before. Yep. And just to see your growth in the 3 months is amazing, dude. I'm really proud of you, and I'm excited for the future of my personal brand, the company, any other companies I do, start. I want you to be a part of and leading that media team. So that's a little bit about Donnie, guys. So he's here. You guys hear me talk about him all the time. I'm definitely, being around my crazy Persian ass is definitely helping get him out of his show. I can tell all the time. He's like, this guy really said that and did that. But it's good for you, Donnie. And you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
And as far as guys, so following this podcast, as you guys know, we always ask you to share it. We need to grow this podcast. I'm trying to grow it. I'm trying to, expand it. So if you can share it, please, on social media, let a friend know, tag us, do that, please. If you get one little gold nugget of value, I appreciate when you do that. It's the only way we grow. And today what I want to talk about is, we're getting back in the podcast. This is like the 80th or so episode. We're going to start a new season now since we took such a long hiatus, but I'm going to do a little bit of my origin story, a little bit of story, remind you guys who the fuck I am, and remind you guys, because we have a lot of new listeners, a lot of new followers, and you have to go all the way back to the first episode of the podcast. And through talking to people, I realized a lot of people don't go back that far. So they're not really hearing who I am, my story. And my story should motivate you. It should inspire you. It should show you what's possible. And I want to get that, just remind you guys, those of you guys who have heard it, and maybe those of you guys who didn't hear it, you need to hear it, right? So as far as my background, Til You Collapse is my main company I have, you guys. And, it's been it's going to be 9 years. This year, actually, 9 years. And as far as my background is, fitness is my passion, guys. Fitness is the thing that I love doing, and that's why I created this company. I created the life I wanted. This is no fucking mistake, guys. So my whole life has been created by me, planning out what can I do 15, 20 hours a day, sometimes still, and still enjoy it and still have that passion behind it, still not feel like work. And that's basically what I found out. I mean, I created it. So I was a fat kid. Let's go back to my origin. I've been working out for 26 years, since I was, 13 years old. I was a fat kid. Taught myself how to work out. I read I can't even say his last name, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Encyclopedia of Bodybuilding, an 800-page book. And that kind of tells you who I am. I took the initiative at 13 years old and read a big ass book and taught myself to work out. And this is back in the olden days, guys. I mean, I'm 40 years old this year. So when I was 13 years old, I don't even want to do the math right now. Unless you're quick at math, Donnie, how many years ago was that?
What are you, 39 right now?
Yeah.
And 13, that's 26.
So 26 years. Yeah, 26 years I've been working out. 26 years I've been working out. But back then, there was no social media. There was no podcast. There was no workout videos. There was none of this, right? It was like, you got to make shit happen. And I made shit happen. And that's kind of a prequel to what I've done many times in my life to get to where I'm at, guys. And when I say things like this, I want you guys to pick up on them and listen to them in the podcast, because there's no accident here. There's no luck here. There's no chance. I created all of this. And I'm a dumbass. And I'm going to tell you guys along the way how I created it. You know what I mean? So I taught myself how to work out, and I was tired of being out of shape. I wanted to be a pro bodybuilder. That was my goal. I wanted to look good, get the girls, the whole nine. You know what I mean? Health wasn't even a thought at that time. It was the girls and look good, right? And just being real. That's what motivated it. So I got into working out, totally transformed my body. I learned how to work out. Fitness was my passion. Sales is who I am at my core. I will sell ice to an Eskimo. I'm Persian. We're born being salespeople, bartering, haggling for everything. Sure, Donnie knows about that shit.
Dude, you said I pulled a Persian move on you when I first started.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a perfect story for this podcast, actually. We'll take a little trip down memory lane.
Yes, sir.
So Donnie, he did pull a Persian move. And let me tell you what this Persian move was. Donnie interviewed, and I have people come in here and interview, meet them, talk with them, tell them about the company, kind of try to scare them and see how they react. And, then he shot a video. He shot a test video, and it blew me away. It was one of the best videos I've ever seen for the brand. I'm like, this guy's fucking hired. Like, you know what I mean? I like his personality. I like his character, and his work even surpasses that, And so it's like a combination of the two best things. I was like, damn, this guy's hired. So, talk to him, offer him the job. He's stoked. He's got to give his 2 weeks at his place, right? Yep. He comes back to me. He's like, he's such a fucking Persian move, Donnie. He's like, oh, by the way, that quality of content, that quality of video you saw that was amazing, that made you really seal the deal for hiring me. If you want to keep that shit up, it's going to be about $9,000 worth of equipment. And by the way, I don't own any of my own. It was actually owned by my previous employer. So here's the list. And this is going to come along with me hiring. And I'm like, this freaking guy, I sat back. I'm like, that is such a fucking Persian move. Oh, yeah. You did a great job, though. You pulled it off seamlessly, because the previous people that worked here, they had their own equipment. So they brought in their own equipment. Mm-hmm. But you know what? I invested in top quality equipment for the company. Now the company owns it. It's a good investment. Anyways, I had to it was a write-off. You need all the write-offs I can get, so it's a win-win. But yeah, that was a Persian move. Good thing, Donnie. And the quality of the content speaks for itself. Not only obviously the way he shoots it, but you can tell with the equipment. So it's a win-win, honestly. So yeah, that was Donnie's Persian move. Yeah. So anyways, back to the story. I was 16 years old. My first job was in sales. I sold lawn and garden equipment wearing a little red vest at Sears. Sears is now shut down off Sunrise Mall. If you're local, off Sunrise Boulevard and Sunrise Mall. And I was thrown into a commission sales job where there was people that were 60, 70 years old, 50 years old, and that was their profession. They've been doing that for 15 years, making six figures selling lawnmowers and tractors. And here I am, the 16-year-old kid. Hey, first job. Hey, guys. And I would beat them. I would outsell them. I had energy. I had hustle. I had natural sales ability because I've always done it, and it's kind of in my blood. And I got thrown into the sales game, which I love. And that was my first gig, guys, is, working hand in hand with people that were a lot older than me in the sales game, making, good money, sometimes even $500, $1,000 in a day at 16 years old based on my work ethic and my sales ability. Those are two things you can always fall back in this world, is your work ethic, the kind of work you put in every day. If you put in 100%, like I always talk about, towards what you do, and then your sales ability. Sales goes in any industry. If you know how to sell, you can win. So those two things, figure out how to do those two things, and you will be golden. And then I got, I went through, did that for a few years, and then graduating from high school, I wanted to get back into fitness because I kept working out, I kept getting in shape, and it was my passion. I got into personal training. And personal training, 18 years old, for 24-hour fitness. I started as a trainer, and I love that shit. I poured into it because I changed my life through fitness, and I helped clients lose up to 200 pounds, change their life, add years to their life. I loved it. It was very, very fulfilling helping people do that. I still miss it. I miss that feeling because my whole thing is I love changing people's life. I love fitness. I love the whole thing. And that's what I miss about it because, I had a direct impact on the rest of their life. Somebody loses 200 pounds, that's life-changing. And someone lose 50 pounds is life-changing, right? So it was an amazing thing, And at that point, I was crushing sales records. I think my top month at 18 years old, selling personal training at 24-hour fitness was a little over $30,000 in 1 month of personal training sales. So obviously, trainers are usually good. Trainers, you have one or two. They're either really good salespeople, shitty trainers, or really good trainers, and they suck at selling. I was kind of a blend of both, you know what I mean? And I did that for a good amount of time. And, I was doing good. And that's real estate really started booming around this time. It was around 2006, 2004, the real estate market was going crazy before the crash, right? And a lot of my friends, sales, they were leaving the fitness industry and they were getting into the mortgage industry because there was a lot more money in mortgage as far as, your sales ability here at personal training, your sales ability here at mortgages, you got a lot bigger ROI for your sales ability in mortgages. And I had friends of mine that were making 7 figures a year. And there were people that weren't even close to my ability, sales ability. I'm like, shit, you're making 7 figures? Let me go do that shit. I'll blow you out the water, And here's the biggest lesson. I need you guys to listen to this point. I left my passion to chase the money. So I was doing something I was passionate about. I love doing it. It was fulfilling every day. It didn't feel like work. And then I got money hungry. And we all do at times, right? Let's be real. And I said, let me go over here and chase that money. And I got into the mortgage industry and I waited a while because I didn't want to leave personal training. I didn't want to do it. I waited way too long. I should have done it 2 or 3 years before I did it. I did it like 2007, right before that huge crash of 2008, and I got into it and I started making crazy money. I think my first month or two, I made 6 figures. In my first month or two, I hadn't made that even in a year. I'd never seen money like that in my life. I was 25 years old, 24, 25 years old. And I was like, holy shit, like this is crazy, and I was, that's a lot of money even now. 6 figures in a month now is a lot of money, guys. And this was back in 2007. And I was a kid. I'd never seen money like that, and I was just like, holy shit. And I started spending it. I started spending it like no tomorrow because I'd never seen money like that. And here's the thing. My dad, he's old school Persian. He's old school, like save, frugal. Don't spend shit, right? That's how I was raised and taught. So you would expect I'd be the same way. Nah, I'm the opposite. I do the opposite of everything he wants. He wanted me to go to college. I said, fuck that. I'm going to do my own thing. He wanted me to not have one tattoo. You guys see how many tattoos I have. So it's kind of like that rebellious thing as a kid. Parents want to do something, but my dad, he knows, he built an amazing life here from us being an immigrant coming over here. But some of the core values that I have, most of them I learned from him. But you have to pave your own way. Even if you have someone preaching to you to do one thing, you have to kind of learn from experiences, I tell you guys. And that's what I did. Started spending a bunch of cars, a bunch of this, a bunch of that, acting like I was going to make $100,000 a month forever. I was 25 years old, I just, and it just started spending like that. And at this time, I had just been with my current, been with my lady for 17 years now, but I had just met her a few years prior. I think we're together about 3 years. So she's part of that. She's like, this is her being part of this come up as well. And at this time we were pregnant with our first kid. We're pregnant with our first kid, about to have a first kid, all the success, all this excitement, right? We have the baby, and the mortgage industry, the crash starts, right? And I didn't even like doing it. I don't like mortgages. I didn't like doing mortgages. It's not a passion of mine. Obviously the money was good, but it was not something I was passionate about. I didn't enjoy it. And so, I go from making, that kind of money to basically nothing. Like, it just instantly, you guys know, lived through the crash, instantly turned off. Like, lending stopped. Everything stopped. Everyone started losing everything. It was like the worst industry to be. It literally went from the best industry to be in to the worst, like overnight. And I went to making nothing. And I tried to write it out because, I was like, I'm gonna get through this. I'm gonna still push through. I kept trying, probably almost too long. At this point, I'm going through all the money I have, paying my bills, and I didn't save much of it either because of all the cars and stuff I had. And the bills start racking up, the credit card bills start racking up. And, that was a point when my car got repoed. We had, all the bank accounts were negative. All my credit cards were maxed out. The cars got repoed. And I'll never forget that moment for the rest of my life, as a man, as a father, as a husband, feeling like I failed my family, hiding from the repo men, looking for my car at night, shining the flashlight in our house. And I was with my wife, who was pregnant with our second baby, and our baby literally hiding in a dark room. I want you guys to picture that, because that's reality. And that shit hurts, and it's embarrassing, but it's real to share. She doesn't even like me sharing shit with you like this. But I'm still sharing with you guys to really have you picture that moment, how it felt. It fucking was the worst feeling ever. Because that is like, for me, being a man and providing for my family and being, a provider and just example for everything. And that's kind of my everything. And to be failing at that, like, I'm failing at everything that I want to do right, So that really is a little, like, it's on my shoulders still. It's a chip on my shoulders still, that I still think about that moment actually daily, believe it or not. And that loss and that low spot, it drives me daily. And that's why I have so much energy. I come in here with so much passion and fire every single day because of that. And you have to lose to win. You have to go through those experiences and feel how that feels to really build that character and that grit and that resilience that you can carry on and grow in life. And here's the thing. When you see people that don't go through hard times and people that don't go through that, they're usually a lot weaker as far as their mindset, what they can endure, and stuff like that. So there's benefits from going through it, believe it or not. And I know a lot of you have gone through losses. Maybe they're different, but just remember this saying. I always say, you have to lose to win. And you're going to lose more than you win. That's the reality of it. That's not what IG or that's not what these little fucking geeks promote to you online, right? They don't do that. Win, win, win. It's easy to win. It's easy to be successful. No, that's all fucking bullshit. It's hard as hell to be successful. You're probably not going to win. This shit is not for everybody. It's going to take a fucking long time. That's the reality of this shit. I'm here to tell it to you. I'm living proof of it. So we went through that. Fucking sucked. Fucking sucked. I go back. I'm like, I'm going back to the gym industry. I'm going back to my passion, right? I need to get back to my passion. I'm going to figure it out. I have 2 kids and a wife to provide for. We have nothing, no income. My credit went to shit. All the credit cards went to collection. My credit was 500, 400, whatever. It was shit, right? 26 years old at this time, right? And I started selling gym memberships. I started selling gym memberships from the bottom, entry-level position, gym memberships. And I, got all this debt. And, my dad gave me his old car. I had no car, had no way to get a car. And my dad hooked me up, he gave me his old pimpin' 1990 gold Lexus, typical Persian car. So I had means of transportation. So I worked up from an entry-level sales, sales position to assistant manager, and then eventually within a year I was the general manager of sales for a health club basically. And that what I did there is I basically taught my sales team sales tactics, phone calls, in-person selling gym memberships, and we had daily tasks as far as our routine and stuff like that. And then on top of that, I had my own personal sales goal. I would sell, and I was, like I said, I was such into sales that not only did my team crush our goals as a team, but I also led from the front, and I crushed my own personal sales every month. I love selling, and I worked for that company for about 7 years, and I worked my way up, and I ran huge clubs. I ran gyms for them that were above 100,000 square feet. So huge gyms, sales teams of, 8 to 10 people sometimes. And I loved it. Like I said, I love sales and I love fitness, and I was making decent money. I started making over 6 figures, which some people, that's a goal for you, making 6 figures, right? But for me, cars, as you guys know me now, cars are a passion of mine. I love cars, and I want to drive nice cars, and I want to have the kind of cars, Lamborghinis, Ferraris, McLarens, you name it. I want to own them all eventually. And making 6 figures in California, and you worked a lot. Any kind of sales gig, you work a lot. But I was working 9 to 9 sometimes 7 days a week, and I wasn't seeing my family. I wasn't seeing my family at all. I mean, talk about those kind of hours and those kind of days. Like I barely saw anyone, and making 6 figures in California when, obviously I have 4 kids now. So my family was growing over that 7 years. I kept popping out kids. And we were still broke. I mean, we were still struggling. Yes, we were living an okay life. Our bills are getting paid, but I really wasn't saving much money monthly. So it wasn't like I was making an excess and saving money monthly. And, it was just, I wasn't seeing anybody. Yeah, I was doing something I love, but I was like, okay, what's the reality of me doing this for how many years? Because it was a lot of work. It was sometimes, 60-hour weeks plus, you know what I mean? So that's a lot of work, especially consistently. And, I wasn't, my family was suffering. It was all that kind of stuff. And I was like, this is not going to get me to that goal of living the kind of life that I envisioned myself living, that I've kind of had goals for since I was a kid, when I had posters of cars on my wall. How do you drive cars like that? Well, even nowadays, like, it's just an entrepreneur, really. There's not many professions. You go to college, there's not many degrees unless you're a doctor or a lawyer. And there's a lot of doctors and lawyers I know that still don't make the kind of money to drive those kind of cars and also live their normal life and pay their bills comfortably. So I'm like, okay, I always had an entrepreneur spirit in me. I had started a couple companies along the way. I had a little computer company I tried to start up, because I'm into computers and that kind of stuff, and that kind of fizzled out. It really didn't go. I didn't have the time or focus to put in it like I should, because I needed to make money and get myself out of that hole. And then, like I said, I was just trying to think, what could I start? What could I do to that I loved, that still was this passion, still was in fitness. What could I do that was still in fitness and, still get to, where I wanted to be, and how do I translate that over? And that's when I came up with the fitness apparel brand, and the fitness apparel brand is like, I have no fashion sense. Don't ask me about fashion sense, right? Just recently I've gotten into shoes and shit like that, but like I had no fashion sense. So I was like, but it still was in the same realm, fitness, apparel, that kind of thing, right? So I decided, okay, I'm going to start a company here in fitness. I'm going to figure it out. And here's the key, guys. I figured it out for the first 4 years. Like, it was just me basically in all positions: customer service, shipping, design, website design, IT, photography, videography. I mean, anything you name was on my shoulders, and I was so broke that I couldn't hire out. I had to do it. And here's the key is to just get started. Just get started. That's the main thing that many of you guys just lack, is that whole thing of getting started. You're waiting for the moon and the stars to align. You have to just get started. That's the key. And I got started. I used to take my pictures for my website, my pictures for my social media were in my bathroom with like an iPhone 5. Like, I was making do with what I had, and I didn't need a fancy camera. The camera I have now is crazy what we do now, but it didn't matter back then. I grew the company and I came up with the name Til You Collapse, because that name resonated with who I was, my kind of work ethic, and what I wanted this company to be. and that Till You Collapse work ethic, right? Every day giving 100% towards your goals, no matter what, with no compromise, 7 days a week. You should put some work towards your goals with that Till You Collapse work ethic and mindset, that grit, that toughness, take the stairs, not the elevator, that kind of mindset. And people resonated with that name. People resonated with what that meant. And that's why the company grew. They knew who I was. They knew I lived that. They knew I embodied that. And they followed that. They connected with that. And they still do, because I still live it and I still breathe it. And it means something. This company means something. It's not like just a company out there. We want to make people feel good. We want to empower them. We want to make them, when they put on my clothes, I want you to feel like I need to fucking do work. I want you to feel like it means something. There's almost like it's a word I'm looking for, Donnie. There's like what's that word I'm looking for? You don't got to cut shit because this shit's all raw. I want them to hear all this, but yeah. Obligation. There's an obligation. Yeah. You put my shit on, you're not going to go fucking do half-ass workout in the corner. You're not going to go do curls in the squat rack with 5-pound dumbbells. You know what I mean? You put the shit on, you fucking go hard. You leave it out on the field. You sweat. You kill yourself to get to your goals. And I want people to feel that when they wear my shit, because they know the mission and the message of the brand. And I think we've done a good job conveying that. People seem to feel it. That's why we have the culture around our brand. We have such our customer base is amazing because they get that. And they supported me because they resonated with that, and they knew the guy behind it lived it. And it wasn't some fake motto or fake thing that someone who didn't live it. When starting a company, make sure it's a passion. Make sure whatever your core values and your mission are, you represent them. Because not only your customer base will realize if you're a fraud right off the bat, your staff as well. When you get to the point you're building a team, you're building a family, if you're preaching shit you don't live, how are they going to follow you? As a leader, you have to lead by example, right? You don't yell and you don't expect your team to do something and then not live it. That's one thing I see a lot of leaders failing at. Like anything I expect them to do, I do. And I've done for years and years and years on my own. And that translates into that too. So yeah, I designed all the shirts myself. I mean, they were crappy designs. I'll keep it real, but people support it because they wore that. They're like, I'm supporting this guy. I support the mission. I support this name. Most fitness brands, Till You Collapse. Even the name's kind of aggressive, right? That's what the brand started as. And a lot of people don't realize that. Anyways, fast forward, I worked my ass off. I had a job that I worked 60 hours a week, 9 to 9 sometimes. And then I had this new company I started, and I had to burn the candle at both ends, guys. I was fucking burning the candles at both ends. 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. at my full-time gig. And then at that time, my quote-unquote passion, my side hustle was I saw my family for dinner. That's the one thing that I still do with my family is family dinners are very important for me. We all sit together. We all talk. We all have some time together every single day. Still try to do that. We had that. And then 8 p.m., 9 p.m. to 1, 2 in the morning, I was working on this company. And that was for a year straight of literally 18 to 20 hour days. And that's when I talk about that many hour days, I don't talk about these fakes on the internet, talk about I'm working 15 hours. But when you really look at how much they're working, it's like a 6-hour day. I'm talking, I'm exhausted. On top of working out 1 to 2 times a day, I'm fucking putting the work in because that's who I am at my core, and I still am. And after a year, it was making 6 figures. I'm like, oh shit, there's something here. It's growing, right? It's growing. It's I was working the social media. And here's the thing, guys. I started this company with $300. $300 is what I started with. And I turned that 3 into 6, that 6 into 12, that 12 into 2,400, and kept it going. And I kept it going. What?
Oh, sorry. I should have told you before. I was going to give you a countdown to the 30-minute mark.
Oh, okay. We almost.
But if we want to cut that, you can just pick back up on how you kept it going.
You don't need to cut shit, baby. This shit, I keep this shit raw.
Okay,
you're putting your finger in there. I thought you wanted to say something, Donnie. No. You want to say anything? You could say something. What do you want to say?
I'm enjoying every second of this. Keep going, please.
Okay.
Please.
Because you don't be shy to talk. You want to say something.
Oh, I'm good.
Okay. Anyways, guys, this is getting a little long-winded, but I want you guys that not know me know kind of the story. So basically I had a choice to make because everything was suffering at that point. When you're working that much, you know, it's not realistic to work that much for long periods of time. You know, there's going to be times in your life you're going to have to work that much in the beginning, in the middle, in the end. There's no specific point of when, but you know, it's not realistic long term. You know, my family was suffering. They were seeing me even less than ever, missing practices, missing games, you know, not being the kind of father I wanted to be, right? Because, you know, and then, you know, at work, everything was suffering. Even my full-time gig was suffering. Everything was starting to suffer because it was starting to be so busy in all areas that it was suffering. So at that point, something had to give, right? And I had to make that decision that every entrepreneur has to make when they're going to go all in on their dreams and their goals and take it full on by the horns and take it, you know, and go towards their goals. And at that point, I was up for a promotion at the current gig I had. They were trying to do district general manager of sales, where I would be overseeing, you know, 5, 6, 7 clubs. And I was in line for a promotion. So, you know, more money, maybe 200 grand if I'm lucky, hitting bonuses and shit like that. And like, we're dangling this in front of you. Here's more money than you've ever made. And, you know, consistently at least. And, you know, here's this. Most people aspire to make 200 grand a year. They're like, oh, I'm going for that. That's it. But like I said, I have a lot higher goals than that. I want to make that in a month. You know what I mean? So, or follow this dream. And everybody thought I was crazy. I was dealing with negativity from all over. People I knew, people I didn't know, even some family members. That people think I was crazy. Like, you're going to support your kids and your wife with some random t-shirt brand on social media. And here's the thing, guys. Nowadays, you have all these people. The competition is crazy right now, right? Especially today compared to where it was 9 years ago. Like, there's every influencer and someone with a big following out there starting a leggings company. And those girls that are doing that, fucking A, hats off to you, girl, because I would do the same shit. If I had 1 million or 2 million followers and they were into fitness and I built up a quality following of fitness, what am I gonna offer these people? I'm gonna offer them fitness apparel. I'm gonna offer them leggings. Fucking go, girl. Like, I love that shit. Like, do it. That's what you should do. I'm a different story. I'm a fucking meathead. I'm a fucking 40-year-old male that's trying to run a fitness apparel company that's right now mainly female stuff. We're getting into the male stuff. You guys better be ready. This fucking male shit we got coming on, premium line. Donnie, I know you're ready. We just released a video. It's coming out in a couple months. It's a long time due. But, you know, and I started from 0 followers. I started from $0 and 0 followers. That's a whole different game, a lot harder game, especially in the time and day and age when I did it. Let's just be real. But it is what it is. Doesn't matter. There's no excuses, nothing. So I made that decision. I took that leap. And I quit my full-time gig against all the hate, all the negativity, everything. Turned down that quote-unquote big money. And I poured into this. And I'll tell you guys what, that first 4 years was some of the hardest time I ever had, because people don't realize, you know, grossing 100 grand, grossing 150 grand, grossing 80 grand in a year, grossing, not netting, supporting sole income, supporting a family of 4, 5, 6. Do the math. I'm in California. I was already broke, making over 6 figures. I was having to burn my candle at both ends, working full time on growing this company, working on time creating these clothes and selling stuff, figuring out of my trunk, out of my garage. And then, I'm still not making enough money to pay my bills. Let me hustle shit on the side. Let me flip shit on the side. Let me figure out how to make an extra $1,000 a month, extra X amount a month to just keep my bills on or feed my family with no compromise for years. Most of you guys can't do that shit for 3 months. Let's be real. That's the reality of what I had to endure to get to this point where I revamped everything. I totally changed the brand, and that's when everything kind of took off. And we went from 80 grand gross in a year to $1.1 million in like 6 months. it took off. And it was like crazy for that kind of growth, that kind of change in revenue, everything, but it happened. But, I literally went through hell for 4 years. And you guys can't go through hell for a fucking day or a week or a month or a year. And I'm trying to convey to you guys, there's going to be low times. There's going to be hard times. There's going to be times that you feel like shit's like impossible. I lived that for 4 years, 5 years almost. And then I got over to the other side. And it's different lengths of time for different companies, different situation, different timing. Don't hold me to that. Some people may take 10 years. Some people may take a year. I'm just saying, if you're passionate about something, if you love something, you fucking double down. You figure out how to keep going at it. Do not quit on your passion. That's one thing you will regret for the rest of your life. Trust me. Do not quit on your passion. Find a way to monetize it. Find a way to make a living doing it. And you fucking work your ass off. And you level up. And you invest in yourself. And you figure out how to be better. And you pivot. And you change. And you don't be chained to some kind of idea of how to do something. Because there's still shit I'm changing to this day. I'm not the best at everything. I suck at way more shit than I'm good at. That's the reality of it. But I realize that. Too many of you guys think you're the best at what you do, and you fucking aren't. Too many of you guys don't want to listen to people around you. Too many of you guys want to be the end all, be all, everything. Listen to your employees. Talk to your staff. Your secretary may have an idea that's better than yours to double your company. But if you don't care and you don't ask her and you don't talk to her, what the fuck? What's the good in that? A lot of you need to get off your high horse. Anyways. Here we are today. Honestly, the last couple years, being real with you guys, have been a fucking struggle. It feels like I'm back to in those first 4 years, these last couple years actually. But you know what? We're living. I woke up today. I'm breathing. I'm grateful. I have amazing people around me. My staff here, I love them. I'm so grateful for them. We're going through these troubling times together. And honestly, where this company is, I can say right now, where this company is as far as the people we have here, the plans we have here, the foundation we have here that we've created together over the last couple of years are better than ever. And these next couple of years will be better than ever. And I'm fucking so fired up. And I hope you're fired up too, guys, because you know what? There's a lot of opportunity in this world. No matter what anyone else tells you, no matter all this negativity and weird shit happening in the world, be true to who you are. Stand for something. Believe in something. Work for it. You can achieve it, but you have to believe in yourself. Feels good recording this podcast again. I don't want to go too long because we're going to come back every Monday. But we can build off of this. But Donnie, how you feel?
I feel inspired, man. Getting me up to that story.
You know what I mean?
That was amazing.
It was cool.
Quite the story, man.
And that's, it's all 100% real. And I just, like I said, I want you guys to feel it and hear it. I know a lot of you guys don't go back to the first episode. There's 80 episodes, but that's pretty much the core story. But next Monday we'll have another podcast, and I hope you guys share it. I hope you guys subscribe. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Anything you got to say, Donnie?
Oh man, just excited. New season, episode 1 in the books. Man.
Yeah, this is new season, episode 1. Love you guys. We're out.
Pull up in motorcades. I got a show today. It's all I'm trying to do. Hustle and motivate.